Thanks for the follows, everyone. So in old cooking shows, what they do is they say what they're going to make, and then they show you the ingredients, and then for each step they actually have everything already pre-cut, right? And then by the end of the hour, they're like, oh look, in an hour we finished making this dish that actually took 24 hours. Right, so like they'll put something in the freezer and be like, okay, we'll put in the freezer for 2 hours, but in fact they already had one that they prepped. So I did the same thing today. So today we're going to be making a boob cube, but I've already done some of the prep work. So if things go poorly, I already have a finished product. So we're going to make a boob cube. It's a 1 by 1 by 2. And it is a cube that I've never owned, but I've always wanted. There's a twist with the boob cube. I don't have stickers for it. So I thought about it a lot. And we're going to make a boob cube that's... I can't make it really look like a boob, but we can take the essential parts and... well, you'll see. All right. So we're going to make a artistic interpretation of a boob cube. I tried making a boob cube. I'll go back to live scene that actually whistles. So each of these cuts is actually like a really thin piece of plastic. And the idea was if you spin it really fast, it'll make like a humming sound. So it's similar to, there's these things called like whistling tops or like humming tops. And what I wanted to do was make a cube that had sort of the same effect. Basically, whenever you turn it really fast, it'll make like a kind of sound. The problem is I can't spin this fast enough for it to make a sound. I mean, it makes a sound, but it's not a whistling sound. It's just the plastic. So anyway, so this was a fail. I fail all the time. But this was a really simple mechanism where it's just one, plastic axis going into a hole. How do you make a boob cube? Well, a boob cube is a cube that's just split in half, right? It's a 1 by 1 by 2. Okay, so I made it 30 millimeters. Okay, so it's pretty small. It's actually, how big is a 2 by 2? Like 50, 51. So it's a little bit smaller than a standard 2 by 2, but that's okay. It's because I want to save on 3D printing time. So next we just fillet it, right? We want to make things nice and round. Boobs should not be, sharp and pointed. Well, okay. Not that they shouldn't be, but from experience, they are not. So we make it nice and round, okay? But we don't want to make it a sphere because, again, this is supposed to be an artistic interpretation. So we take the most important components and, we try to infuse it into this design. All right, so next we need a perimeter, okay? So here we have the nice areola. And there's only one thing that's really missing to make this a boob cube. So let's just do it. All right, boom. Okay, so now here it is. I actually thought long and hard about this, okay, because even if you're underage, this is part of the human body, okay, and it's fine. So we gotta make things nice and round. This is not okay, right? It's too sharp. So I made that nice and round. And I will say that I modeled this nipple after yours truly. I fooled all of you. You guys assumed too much. In fact, this is me. Next, obviously, we have to split it. And so someone asked about the mechanism. So the mechanism is actually, it's not cool, but it's not what you might think. It's actually a decent puzzle, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so we split this in the middle. So what we need is some mechanism to actually attach the two parts and make the turning decently good. So how do you do that? Ball core? No. Use a screw? No. Use an implant? Kind of, actually. Braidek, although joking, is on the right track. An implant is correct. What kind of implant? What is something that everyone had in like 2015? That's similar to this. Ball bearings, Catch got it. Fidget spinners, exactly, right? If you think about it, a boob cube is nothing more than a glorified fidget spinner. This thing is 22 millimeters in diameter. Someone remember that in chat because I'm going to forget. And it's 7 millimeters tall. Okay, so 22 by 7. Inner diameter is 8. Okay, so 8, 7, 22. Got that? 8, 7, 22. 8, 7, 22. 8, 7, 22. Okay, so first thing. Right, similar to this other one, we need a stem, but this stem is meant to be for the inside of the ball bearing, right? So it's supposed to be press fit on there. There's one other thing, right, which is if I do what Turbo TPS says and I just attach 2 halves to a ball bearing, what's going to happen is that the two are going to be press fit so tightly that the plastic is going to be grinding on each other, and so the turning will not be smooth. So I actually need something to offset the pieces so that there's some gap in between them. We just create a little lip, right? So this is, I think, 200 microns. So we'll go to the bottom boob. And there are sirens outside. Hope everyone's okay. All right, what were the numbers, chat? How big do I need to make this? Someone remembers the numbers, right? 8, 7, 22. Which one is this? How much? 7, right? 8, 7, 22. No, that's wrong. 22 was the number, not 8. It was 22. That makes more sense. All right. Here we go. So 22. We want to extrude this down 7. Right? That looks better. Okay. All right. And now we have a hole. All right. So let's pattern this. So we're going to pattern this feature 4 times around this axis. Okay? And just like that, we have this. Boom. Boob cube. And then we can just move this around. Okay, so anyway, so this is basically it, right? And I know what you're thinking. That seems not that impressive, right? There's more. And this is where it gets crazy. So let me show you what it looks like from the SLA printer. So we'll change views now. So I've already actually printed these. So this is printed with SLA resin. You can't even see the individual lines. It looks mass produced. And the winner is 802Cuber. Congrats. So here's the nipple, right? And it feels nice. The plastic feels amazing. It's a good weight. And I'm really happy with it. Okay. And it spins okay. It has a nice sound here. Listen. It sounds good too. So this was my first go, and I really liked it, but I thought I could do better. Okay. So now this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. So Boob Cube, what is wrong with this? A lot of things, but what is the most wrong thing about this? Does this sound right to you? It's hard. And so this, while anatomically accurate, is too hard. So we gotta do better. So next thing I did was I got a different resin from my SLA printer. This is flexible resin. Yeah, you can see if I bend it, it doesn't break, it just comes back, okay? The color's weird. It's a little, so on camera it actually looks okay, but in person it's a little bit discolored. But this is the resin. It turns out that if it's too thick, it's still pretty hard, but better. Okay, it's better, still super hard. The nipple is also very hard. But we've made an improvement, which is that the texture on this, on the surface, it's a little bit more like rubbery, which feels more similar to skin, right? So with the original, this was like really hard plastic. It was like ABS basically. So it feels okay, but it's not realistic. Okay, so this is a little bit better, but we're not there yet. If you want it to feel like skin, make it out of skin. That seems illegal. So I got an FDM printer and I printed this in PLA. And this is really nice. So turning's very smooth. But again, we're not going for smooth. We're going for fidget spinner and boobs. So printed another one in purple because purple nurple. And this one spins very, very, very freely. That sounds kind of cool too. The final form of this cube, we need to make it soft. TPU is this really floppy material. It's stretchy, it's pliable, it's basically like impossible to break. Like it's even hard to cut. TPU is going to save the day. So printed out two pieces here. So this is the TPU that I use. It's blue because why not? This is what it looks like. You can see it's really squishy. You know, it's very pliable. It feels... Sorry, this is inappropriate. Let me... It feels... It's not totally different. It's similar. In any case, the way it works is pretty simple. You take a ball bearing. Let me just focus. Take the part, take the ball bearing. You press fit the ball bearing in, and that's it, right? Now, the other part, because I designed it for SLA, I didn't have to do this with the SLA parts, but I did need to do it for the FDM parts. The center peg was actually too small. It was too thin, so it would just fall out. So what I did was I took some Teflon tape and I just wrapped it. So I wrapped it probably like 10 times just to thicken it. And it looks fine. It doesn't, look bad at all. And this press fits into the other part. Okay. And it's pretty sturdy, but this was a really fun project. And, all jokes aside, again, this is, for those of you interested in designing puzzles, I challenge you to make a boob cube. It's fun. It's one of those things that's like not difficult, but it's harder than you might think because there's some design considerations. You can get really creative with it because the mechanism is so simple that you can really, really over-engineer it and, come up with something cool. Like, for example, maybe you can do something with adjustable tensions, stuff like that. So if there's one thing that you take away from this, aside from haha boobies, it's that you can really see anything in the world that you're interested in. So if you're interested in cubing, that's great. Try designing something, and it's a fun challenge. It really is, and it allows you to be really creative, think about things a little bit differently. And I think from experience, if you do this a lot and you go back to a mass-produced puzzle, you'll start seeing things and seeing what things are good and what things are bad, how things can be improved. And I think it's fun. I wanted to show you a secret project that I haven't really shown anyone, but I'm sharing it right now. This is the world's first fully adjustable 1x1. I think it's cooler than any of you will think. So I'll show you the mechanism because it's not finalized, so it's not super exciting yet. It's magnetic, first of all. So here's the core. This is like my passion project right now. So here's the core. It has GES nuts. These are actually supposed to be for weights. So you can change the weight. So it's adjustable weight and not adjustable tension. I mean, you can adjust the tension, but it doesn't do anything. The actual function of it is to just add weights. So you can add weights. So you can add up to 4. So there's, 6. You can add 6 weights. So here, these are just empty slots that I haven't added GES nuts to yet. So you can do that. Okay. Added weights. You can change the magnetic strength. So right now I have a yellow, I don't know if you can see this, yellow core. Okay. It's a yellow magnetic rod. So you can change that to something stronger if you want. And the way it works is after you've assembled the core, you have the magnetic strength that you want and the correct weights that you want. It attaches magnetically. Okay, so this is just one example shell. So this is for a 1x1, obviously. And at its core, no pun intended, all it is you have a magnetic rod that sits like this, right? And you just clip the two halves together. So this is a 1x1, but this isn't great because it's very flimsy. There's no support. It's not good, right? This is why I inserted the rod inside this core. So now there's some support structure. And I'm not even done yet. This is not even the cool part. You assemble it as such, and it's just magnetic, so it just clips together. And with this, you can also adjust the size. It's size adjustable, right? You can print out smaller shells, like I've done here, or bigger shells, and different size 1x1. Now, here's the coolest thing. And this is also a world first. Maybe. Maybe not. What have we been making on this stream this whole time? Boobies. Correct. Look at this core. It has a hole straight down the middle. This is a 1x1. Boob cube. Boob cube with hole straight down the middle. Core with hole in the middle. One by one. Boob cube. So not only is it a fully adjustable 1x1 with adjustable weights, adjustable tensions, and adjustable magnets, adjustable sizes, it's also puzzle adjustable. We've gone from a 1x1 to a boob cube, and now we've come full circle. Thank you everyone for joining this stream. It was a lot of fun. We have a few minutes for questions, but otherwise, thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk.
All the pieces feel the same, don't they?